If you're in a school and need a school lunch, chances are that you're eating what is part of a government program for making healthier meal plans. Now think of how meals used to be back when you were younger. Sometimes you couldn't finish your meal, right? Look at students who eat at school now, or just listen to their conversations about the food. Usually it's something like, "I'm still hungry," or "that lunch was disgusting." Students are now looking towards bringing their own lunches to school. This speech will point out the flaws of these government programs. I will talk about what some of the programs are, so you can relate to these meals. Also, I will talk about what other steps the government has done to try to help the issue of obesity and unhealthy diets. Lastly, I will tell of the reasons of why all of these attempts by the government are pointless and should be canceled. First, what are some of the government programs that control some of these meal plans in the United States? All of these meal plans will try to do is cut obesity rates. As you can see by this graph, they are the second leading cause of death behind tobacco smoking in the United States. The first program is the National School Lunch Program. This program is operating in over 100,000 public and nonprofit schools and residential child care institutions. This program provides nutritionally balanced, low-cost, or even free lunches to more than 31 million children each school day. In 1998, the program was expanded to serve snacks to children and after-school education and included children to the age of 18. Schools that participate in the program get cash subsidies and USDA foods for each meal they serve, but for each meal they must first meet the federal requirements. Some requirements are that the meal must have wheat products of little quantity and must have fruits and vegetables served. This program costs about $11.1 billion in 2011. The other program is the U.S. Conservation Reserve. This program pays farmers to keep environmentally sensitive land out of production. The payments totaled around $2 billion annually from 1995 to 2002. Now, on to what other laws the government has tried to fight obesity, but have not worked. One of the first was the hiring of food prices. In the 12 months leading up to March of 2008, the United Nations food price rose more than 52%. The global wheat prices rose 120%. Some people, as in Bangladesh, couldn't afford a bag of rice without at least a half day's work of labor. In the U.S., the milk prices rose more than 90% in 2011. These higher food prices in poor countries have led to food riots. Also, there was a hiring on the taxes in junk food. They would raise the taxes by more than 20%. This caused frequent soda drinkers to buy lower priced soda, engage in bulk discounted purchases, or brew more sweetened iced tea by themselves. Some other methods that the government tried to do was they tried to suggest eating low-fat diets. Americans heeded the advice to switch, but because they were eating healthier foods, they ate more, which canceled the idea. They also made a law requiring restaurant chains to post calorie counts, but this did not spark a change. Over in Canada, they tried to ban advertising to children, but this did not cause any change in obesity rates. One source said that the government should try to get rid of the obesity chain. The only way that this could have been done is to simply eliminate people or groups that have this obesity chain. That would be also known as genocide. If the government changes said affairs, that would lack a free will, and hence goes against the nation's stronghold of being a capitalist country, and would lose the concept of being called the United States of America. Lastly, some everyday reasons that we all see that show why these government programs should be canceled. People find ways around the higher taxes on food. As I stated earlier, when the government tries to put higher taxes on junk food, people find ways around it. Some people buy lower priced soda, some engage in bulk discounted purchases, and some brew their own sweetened iced tea. Some programs can cause unrest. Some effects of higher food prices are that people can turn to food riots when they are not able to buy food. Some people must spend a half day's labor just to buy food. Some people will constantly protest, and that will lead to food riots. Eventually, people will get desperate for food and will do unlawful things to get some money for food or just to simply get food. This can involve burglarizing a grocery store, or jumping people for money. Also, the programs waste money. The National School Lunch Program costs about $11.1 billion. Most times, kids don't even get enough food, and students are turning to sack lunches, which makes the schools lose money. Programs of higher taxes or higher food prices will make people pay more for simple items of food. These reasons are only a few of the reasons against government involvement with the food industry. In conclusion, government involvement with the meal plans is unnecessary. Throughout this speech, I have given information on what the programs are and what they do, some of the methods the government uses to try to fight obesity, and I have gained some of the everyday reasons why these programs do not cause change and should be canceled. I hope that now you realize why these programs should no longer be "Don't Go Hungry" throughout the government involvement.